okay, this is just straight up D+, right? They're looking for the Jin potentially. I like the Kai'Sa more, and it's not a Guma favorite. We know this, but every time the naysayers say Guma can't...
Yep, not going to be a contest here from HLE. They might be looking towards the grubs that are going to be spawning. We did mention the fact that Doran, so that's looking to alleviate some of this, but Ona comes around, and let's see what they can actually get done here as Zeus goes between worlds. It's a lot of damage potential here as they look for the Winter's Bite. They will be able to connect it onto Gumayusi, who does get stunned up by that passive carrier completely out of the blue stuff, and down he will go. Zeus picks up first blood, and HLE
he can just absorb everything, clear waves pretty quickly, and just take as much damage as he wants, and then gets to use his ult instead of TP. As we're going to see Zeus looking for the setup here for Peanut.
Speaking of ults, as the Tangle Bob's going to go wide, Carrier flashing away, just trying to draw them away from Gumayusi, but Zeus just solo kills him. Caught a little bit too far up, and I mean, I say all year long.
I think we might see a late contest here, although Zeka would have to TP for it, of this dragon.
Yeah, looks like HLE are coming on over to see what they can actually get to. Okay, just walk in and smite it. That'll do it.
Peanut not known for his smites this year. Doesn't have to fight or anything. And T1 end up committing a lot and getting nothing.
Well, they might get Delight, who does flash out of the way of the Pop Blossom. Peanut and Viper will turn up now as the culling. Not going to quite do too much. Teleport does bring Faker in, though, and HLE does need to be really careful. Zeka making his way down, but Faker doesn't quite have the backup that he wants. Winds of War just going to be there to be annoying.
She just puts a circle on top of your engage and says, eat it.
And the amount of mobility that you have as well, as there's a Q, fully charged, landing there by Doran. He does find a pretty good angle here. Doesn't have ulti. Kind of would love it if he did, though, because that was all
there with a fully charged Q.
Theoretically, you could just stay a little bit further away, as Owner is going to come out. Oh, the sidestep from Viper! That was slick.
This guy's just not going to get hit by anything today. I didn't even get hit by the Void Seeker.
And it was seeking him actively in a straight line.
Delight is really playing with fire, trying to defend this control ward. I don't think he will be successful.
Oh, I want to watch that again. That was one of my favorites. Like the Peanut can break up the Wombo combo effectively with the Keeper's Verdict. Like there is a lot of tools on HLE's side to kind of, I guess, like. There's a word, but it's not in my brain.
I mean, they catch the engage really well. They break it up. They can smash it and
dissect.
Dissect is the word.
Dissect was the word.
Like Zeka's ability to just shockwave that combo as well just breaks up everything T1 is trying to do. It's why Guma in the late game is going to have a huge role to play if we get there. This is looking like it's just an HLE Herald.
Well, that is the steadfast presence as the Pop Blossom does find two. Down goes Zeus. He just gets popped like a balloon. Viper kind of untouched, but Doran is just a brick wall. It's so hard for this Lucian to do anything as the shockwave connects onto two, but Doran stands tall. He's got so much health bar.
So arguably really a trade up here for T1 because of this dragon, and they will take it for free. Doran also getting some additional Peanut looks for the ult onto Owner here. He stops him with a steadfast presence, but he's not able to affect the fight otherwise. That guarantees the Herald, but doesn't win them the fight.
Doran is, I would say, in a little bit of trouble. Rock in a hard place, all those sorts of things. It's going to take a while, but he is extraordinarily dead. They want to give the kill over to Viper, but he's unable to get it. And Zeus will be able to lock that one down. Zombie Scion is going to be dealt with. So now HLE.
They're going to get this turret too.
Yeah, they might be able to do it, as the Herald can just be thrown down.
And, you know, just a moment ago, he's got some alone time in the bottom lane, maybe a little bit too much alone time.
I thought that was going to be feats of strength for T1, but in the blink of an eye, it's feats of strength for HLE.
Yeah. That's just how quickly things can change. That they got after they got that kill onto Zeus doesn't give the T1 the opportunity to fight. Now Faker is going to be the next one to be caught in sides.
Yeah, we've seen this play, this exact play that was like 5 minutes ago, as Faker's going to get stunned up by the concussive blows. That will line up the heroic charge so comfortably. Man, he just kind of got it. When this team looked good, Peanut knew things before everyone else. I feel like Beryl has an extraordinarily high win rate on everything. But as we know, that's not often true.
All right, so once again, T1 wrestled away this prio of the Otacon, and we continue to do this dance here. And they need to hold on to it, right? Guma's in a really good position here, very difficult to punish.
Doran's getting impatient as he just flashes on top of Viper. He tries to get out, but the Pop Blossom was waiting for him, and Faker just bonks him on the head, lands down from the sky. That is just going to be the one pick. A lot of resources used. Every R button has been pressed to take down this Lucian. But still a fair bit of damage towards Delight. Peanut trying to be a nuisance. I don't think it's Otacon time, but it's a good pick for T1.
I just checked, by the way, 75.6% okay, career. Not in LCK. I think in LCK it's higher, but
that's still kind of ridiculous. And this should mean that Soul Point does go over to T1.
It is, and you know, T1 have this insane collapse onto Viper. Hanwha eSports get this faster reset, and they're still saying, well, you got to kill, but this Otacon is mine for the taking. T1 don't have a Galio ult or a TP for Faker, so he's just not here.
They had full information as this was started up, but Owner is going to get into position. This is risky from HLE as Zeus. He moves on over. Pop Blossom is going to connect once again. They look to take down Viper, and there he goes. This time it's going to be a trade, and the Poppy does secure the Otacon. But now we're going between worlds as Zeus looks for Gumayushi. Can they return the favor? Yes! And it's Peanut that locks down that kill. Now there's concussive blows on everyone. The Braum from the grave is still getting the work done as the Justice Punch onto Zeka doesn't find the mark, and Peanut is just heroically charging all over this top lane and will be able to take down Doran. Just a lonely Gargoyle left on T1.
T1 got the initial fight win now, but it is going to be completely worthless. No Doran, no Owner, and that risk for T1 I think just was not worth it. If you get the Otacon, sure, that's nice, but now you're getting way more. Okay, Faker is going to TP in, they're looking for the fight.
There's the calling as Viper turns up in the nick of time. Faker still trying to do something about this, but it is just going to be Baron secured by HLE. The interruption on the taunt, and Faker is going to get taken down. The health bars are looking low, but Peanut is a brick wall to stand in front of HLE, and they just systematically took everything from the top side of the map.
And they fall like dominoes, T1 do in this game. It was such a close game, and then suddenly, piece by piece, some failed attempts as Keria again fishing.
Yeah, not going to quite find the angle here. They still managed to kill Zeka despite everything as Heroic Charge comes down. Doran dealing with a turret and Viper plus Peanut is going to be a little bit of a bridge.
Goes so deep, it's a trade. The smite goes the way of HLE, but this fight is so incredibly broken up. They lose the Otacon, they lose the fight, they lose Baron, and T1 now on the back seat of game one.
And I swear, this has just been the Zeus Peanut show. The two of them have been playing so well, and who has been getting all the criticism this year? It's those two players.
It certainly is.
And seeing it here from Zeus' perspective, playing an absolutely incredible game. Man, I was not, like, I had a few theories about what
we were sold on this fight.
Yeah, and the thing for me is that I feel like that was a very risky Otacon, and I think HLE have gone for plays like that, but in the past it just straight up hasn't worked because they haven't looked this coordinated. Like, they just haven't been able to execute quite as well as they have in this particular game. They're going to have to do so again, though, as Faker just getting sidelined by Viper here, who is just all over him. Heroic Entrance comes down defensively, but they can also use it as an offense, as Zeus might get caught, and he is just going to be put in the Cataclysm. The culling comes through, though, and Owner is going to be taken out as well. Viper relatively untouched in the back end as Faker goes golden, but that is not going to save him. And now Doran just trying to run away. T1, it looked like they sort of had an angle, and they have half a plan, but it's the getaway that they haven't figured out.
They just don't have enough damage, Atlas, and it's a triple threat here for the side of Hanwha eSports. Sure, maybe you can kill one of Zeus, Zeka, or Viper, but you can't get all three, and you're never going to get 2 out of 3. And in this fight, Viper does 6
out. He gets out.
Zeus is the target, right? But he can go golden. He buys so much space. The ult here from Peanut keeps This is not a Teddy Kaisa, like, 1v9 game. And especially with the game state now where they're so far behind, it's difficult for him to do so. As here comes Peanut up into the front line. They're looking to collapse.
And the ulti comes down from the engaged Braum. Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the Galio, but he's probably the one more hopeful about it. As Pop Blossom hits everyone. Zeus goes golden, so does Zeka. He's able to flash his way out the Shockwave onto only one, and it's only Carrier. And so it looks pretty good here for T1. They take down the Aurora and the Orianna, but Viper is still alive. Justice Punch comes in. The front line is still there. The flash is read by Ona as Viper is just gliding away from the fight. He finds the Jarvan. And you've got 2 carries, but not the one that matters.
Not the one that matters, not the one they need to get in the end. And Viper plays it so phenomenally there in the end. Kites away, gets the kill. And if we get a replay of this, I want everyone else also to watch the snipe from Zeus with his death rattle, his last breath. Gets the pullback on his Q. Nico taken out here. Faker the only one remaining, the last man standing here to watch the Baron fall. 4,700 gold the lead.
All right, well, we've got a teleport coming in. Faker and Doran are both very tanky.
Yeah, this is a little bit risky here for Hanwha. I mean, Delight's basically dead. TE is coming through from Zeka. He does have his Shockwave back available.
But they also have Gumayusi coming in. Killer Instinct at the ready. Cullen comes down. And T1 are going to be... This is risky for HLE as Doran gets himself in there. He's avoided majoritively, though. And the Q does absolutely nothing. Voicing unable to get any steals. And we're going between the worlds. And what's between them? Looking like a Game 1 victory here for HLE, who will grab another Baron and look for another push.
Just phenomenal performances across the board here, individually, but also as a unit from Hanwha Life eSports. They had a massive lead early, and they just keep taking W's with it. Even with T1 trying to catch them for their greed, they just outplay them once again on this Baron, and it looks like the Nexus will explode here in about 33.5 minutes for T1.
It's not looking good. They could go for one last-ditch effort, and we'll see whether it is going to work out. But Ona, man, like, just wasn't able to do anything. The Keeper's Verdict is in, and Gumayusi is out of there. Pop Blossom not doing anything here at all. And the Cataclysm comes on through, but I think we know who is at the mercy of the Cataclysm in this game. Is this time they'll be able to get Viper. Never mind, Gumayusi doing a fair bit of work, but the Shockwave is gorgeous. He will be able to go into stealth momentarily, but that's a dangerous orb. Still able to actually buy enough time, as the dead inhibitor turret will be able to almost get Zeka to safety.
Dead, unfortunately for him. He's going to come over and grab this turret at least.
Wait a second. Base race, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, is he actually, there's no way, right?
He's going to look for it. He doesn't have flash available, but Doran also not really able to kill him. Zeka is just here, and he's looking to go to game 2 a little earlier, but it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, couldn't get through administration
here of the Jarvan and snipe Skooma. It's actually absurd. Like, it's actually unreal. And then from there, that's not enough, right? Because there's just so many melees trying to get on top of Viper. And Golden is Faker, right? Look at this attempt from Ona. He flashes over the wall, dashes back here, has the blast cone to play around, doesn't need it.
This guy's reaction time is absurd, as gets out of the way of the Q from Ona, which could have been the end, as Viper looking for another calling. Faker taking so much damage here. This is still Cloud Soul for T1 possible, but Zeus is just skipping into the enemy base. And in the meantime, T1 are also losing the fight on the bottom side. 6 elemental drakes to go down before there's a soul.
A miracle happen here in this base defense if we are going to see this turnaround for T1.
Well, there's the Between Worlds for Zeus, already doing so much damage. Goes Golden here as well, as Doran taking a fair bit. Heroic entrance just to buy some space here for T1. But Zeus just walks around it, finding these angles beautifully. Gumayusi far too low to get anything done. The self-hold flash from Zeka to hold them in position. And it's all a formality, as the Nexus is so close to dead already. And HLE will springboard themselves into a game 2 with a victory in hand. It's very short range, so the hostile takeover should be able to get a fair bit of value, but we're just going to Ziggs.
So I was thinking he's probably not going to go for the Jhin anymore in this draft. There's just
falling down momentarily. Level 5 still here for Doran, is pretty close to level 6, but Zeus, as we could see, does manage to pick that one up a little bit earlier on. As Gumayusi is over here, there's the crash down, flash out, but over the wall comes Peanut, and Guma is in so much trouble. Satcheled and destroyed. Handshake there. Having to flash forward for that one. As Delight just walking on over, will find the crash down, the Rune Prison in there as well. Cease and desist, and Faker will be taken out. Now Ona is going to come in, but another teleport from Carrier Vault Breaker to try and keep them safe here. As Ona finds a big Q, that should be able to disengage this one, but nothing to
splash. But not what he was looking for. Was hoping to at least get one and say thank you very much.
Yep, good timing does come on through, as Viper with a bouncing bomb is going to find a bit of damage onto Ona. Mega Inferno Bomb comes on down, but Ona is going to be over to T1. HLE needing to focus on some of these neutrals, as Doran finding a decent trade here, as in comes Peanut. Cease and desist comes down. Public execution there as well, as some needlework to come on through. They get the flash out of Doran, and it looks like HLE are happy with that.
They have full control. They've got control vision in this Tri-Brush, and this Scuttle vision will fade. As Faker's just going to drop a bear as well onto Zeka, so even if he wanted to make a closer and much more readily available to do so.
Well, we're going to see that Faker do get spotted out there on his recall as Ona going to face check this brush, and Room Prison comes on down. Their single target pick is revolting on this HLE comp. I tell you what, it's kind of nice to see Zeka back.
Yeah, no, Zeka's back, man.
I've kind of missed him. As I say that, he's just going to realm warp his way to safety.
He's really back now.
He's really back. I thought I casted cursed him. In that moment, I was like, oh no.
Trade ults, and Viper's like, I'm holding my R-key. And Doran will be stopped on his back.
Oh dear. There's a Vault Breaker as Peanut coming around yet again. He'll find the cease and desist, and in fact, Doran will cease to exist.
I mean, Zeka's back, but Peanut's back? Really helps them get into the right mindset. Peanut, I don't know if he wants to commit.
Well, he will. Going to flash on in and bring the Rift Herald down to 50 health.
He didn't smite.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So never mind. As Ona is going to... Okay, now there's the smite. That's what we're talking about. He was waiting for that one. Wanted a red buff.
That one was arguably more impressive than the ones he missed. Like, anyway, Unalive do have control over this dragon, and Peanut will have his second smite at the ready, so they are going to take it.
The Hextech minefield is so frustrating. T1 are instead just going to look for this outer turret in the mid lane, as HLE will be able to take this first Mountain Drake. That one does go down, and the rest of them are actually there to defend. Let's see whether Shelly does get a charge, and she will be able to do so. It's not going to be enough to take down this turret.
1,700 the lead. It's not like an insurmountable lead or anything like that.
Let's see what happened here. Okay, so he gets... Can you get me vision?
아깝다.
And then...
Bummer.
개 아깝네. 까비.
That was so close, is what he said. I'm actually...
He tried to smite it, but this time...
일단 용 레드 먹었거든.
That one was
용
much
치자
better.
이거.
So I think he was just...
Goodness me,
that's not very balanced.
Zeka might get his Zonias later, you know?
Yeah.
Watch out. He might get a... no, he's not going to build. Fight
well,
for vision continues, and Faker is the target here.
Yeah, Vault Breaker comes in. There's the cease and desist. Mega Inferno Bomb and the public execution, and the Annie's just dead. But the rest of the cavalry will turn up. Peanut in a bit of trouble, but he makes it out alive. Zeus will see whether he's going to be so lucky, and yes, he is. He's stacked up some grasp, and he's just healthy enough. Still, that's a bunch of flashes now on cooldown. The job done, and we do have now the Drake being started, and Ona now moving up towards this top side as Delight is going to move in. Zeka's like, is this what you want?
This is a really scary situation here for either team to start Otacon. I don't think they will. It's just mad. Surely T1.
The fact that Peanut can just take this dragon for free, though, is kind of insane. And T1 feel priced in to try and do something about it.
It's just so risky to actually commit to this. Delight has his ultimate, by the way, at the ready.
There's the Mountain Drake as teleport to come in. They're looking to pincer Zeka here. And Handshake is going to miss, but look at this AoE damage. Immediate flash out from the Rise as Delight finds the Magnus Storm under 3. Hostile takeover is only on the Metal Horse Pants Girl, and Doran, he has to flash away. This Otacon is now looking worse for wear, and Peanut is like, thank you very much for once again another leash.
I think this was just a risky call from T1. I get the idea.
Doran's with the Krugs. He's with the Krugs. They told him that the Mega Inferno Bomb was coming. They told him that... Not that the Vi was coming. There was a realm warp that they gave him information about.
Yeah, I think they just told him, like, nice dodge, buddy.
Yeah, it was a bit of that. He was also almost, almost really dead. Well, is that what the Krugs sound like, Wolf?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. Well, what would you say that accent is?
I don't know.
I liked it a lot. Season This is going to come on through here as Faker does have Tibbers, but doesn't have his life. And Zeus is going to grab another one. Because all you need to do at the beginning of a fight is press one of your buttons.
Focus on top of the Luden's companion. You just do so much burst damage, even with your Qs.
Well, Mega Inferno Bomb is just going to soften up Gumushi here momentarily. They're going to try to take down this. By try, I mean they will obliterate
this map right now.
Yep, Carrier going to get some vision down here as Zeus. Possibly in an uncomfortable spot as there's the ulti in from Ona, but he's Ambessa.
Yeah, he's like that T1 magic attempt. Vina has flash here, and he is by.
Faker is going to spot him, but unable to actually lock Peanut down or anything like that. Can he actually get into the pit? Will he be able to get the smite? The answer is no. Ona locks that one down. Hostile takeover is gigantic as well, but it's the Pantheon going down, and there goes Gumayushi. Zeus wondering which target to go for next as Zeka and Faker doing battle. The flash forward, and there's the blast cone to get Faker to safety, keeping at least a Baron alive, and I believe 2 more are going to survive as well. well. T1 with that Hail Mary are going to get rewarded for it.
Okay, it's a big win here for T1. It's not enough to put them back into this game fully, but it's enough to buy them a ton of space. But he's just deleted instantly. I think if they slow play this a little bit more with Guma, T1 could have gotten even more. As here's the collapse onto that side lane and Gwen.
Level 16 here for Zeus, gets himself into the circle. Zeka's moving over, Viper's here as well. Carrier, not going to be enough support, but they do not overextend for it. Understanding Grand Starfall is a thing. That would be difficult for them to deal with. Faker will be able to take this out of turret in the mid lane.
Second turret of the game here for T1. And now the side lane here. And Hanwha can look to start a fight here. Zeus on the flank.
Beautiful flank angle. It's there's a Magnus Storm. Dives on top of Gumayushi and he's held into the sky. Featherstorm does absolutely nothing. Still able to do a fair bit of damage off to the back end. As now Owner's in trouble. Zeus looking for him. As Peanut actually just going to get destroyed. Owner finding a lot more value than I was expecting in that moment, but unable to get the dragon, and that will be secured here by HLE. Another 8 seconds until the Mountain Soul is available, but it's the Baron that's going to be the target as Faker engaging onto Delight, not necessarily optimal here, as Viper holding onto the ulti. Tibbers is dead.
Yeah, I mean, he just cleanses it and walks away, and that's one of your best engage tools gone now as T1.
Didn't have to flash. Tibbers will be back relatively soon. But it's still a decent cooldown they won't have access to. As Mega Inferno Bomb is going to get a lot of flashes. There's the Featherstorm down. That's all HLE needed.
And they've got still so many buttons to kill him with.
Yep.
Good luck in this one, Guma.
Annoying.
It just keeps constantly harassing and zoning as Pantheon goes to the flank.
There's the engage. Trying to get on top of Viper here as the Redemption goes down. Owner taking so much damage, and Delight finding huge CC into that back line. GA going to get procced though, as now Doran going golden. Mega Inferno Bomb up yet again as Doran looking to get himself out of there. Punched in the back of the head by Peanut, but Owner is able to get one back as well. He will finally go down though, and now Viper has all the space in the world.
And they've also got this full health rise to deal with as well. Guma, he's going to have a heroic performance here. He has his flash.
Carrier is looking so incredibly low as well. They know that they cannot lose this soul as Carrier getting a decent amount of work done, and now Gumayushi taking matters into his... Never mind, he's dead. And that is going to be almost an ace because Faker is there in the mid lane, but unable to actually do anything.
This is a Baron just going to disappear right before the
Ryze has 171 armor and over double
on this.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky. Has got it decently stacked, but that is going to be the turret taken down eventually.
T1 that in to a fight. As Owner is going to look for something here.
Yeah, going for a little bit of an angle, as Peanut does take a bit of damage, but Zeus is going to be there as well. Doran goes over like one mine and then almost dies. Carrier, speaking of which, he's not going to get bailed out of this one. The 3-man Magnus Storm comes in from Delight as well on the follow-up, and off to the side, the Gwen is dead. The Pantheon soon to follow. A couple of kills do come through for T1 though. Gumayushi able to pick up one off that back end, but still they lose the turret, and HLE, they get a few extra on that one themselves.
Hey, we're going to get this inhibitor easily here, and with Baron and Power Recall still available, they can just get out of here. Commitment from Viper, actually. He wants more with this next wave. Just going to get the TP from Zeus back in. They're looking to end.
These turrets go down so incredibly quickly. Look at this. Every auto is ridiculous, even without the short fuse. And Gumayushi, one bouncing bomb, and half his health bar goes down. Faker's dead as well. And HLE, I think they want to go home early tonight. That is match point.
More questions about. I have more questions about this one.
Well, I'm also...
And it's just going to be the smolder.
Yep, the smolder that you were expecting. Felt a little bit telegraphed here, but it's going to be the little drag.
Yeah. It's actually even going to make a pass to the mid lane.
Delight the old level 1 Alistair gank.
Exhaust.
As he gets the exhaust off, Zeka not going to quite find the chains.
2 wasn't enough. He's ready to do it again in game 3 with a free lane.
Yep, Zeka going to be able to chain up that minion, but does a lot of Twin Fang damage as Carrier looks for the angle but doesn't get it. And Faker is going to be overextended. Zeka takes a fair bit of damage, but dashes away. And back in again as you are the one.
And the Jax is now just landing into a Gragas, as was the original plan. T1 do have a lot in the early game. They played it well, but they need to do more than just some tricky lane swapping in this one.
Yeah. Zeus is going to be able to get the better of Doran in this trade, as was able to hold on to the counter-strike, as, oh no, the Karsk is now on cooldown. Doran, bit of a misplay there, still going to hold on to his... Would make my brain explode while I'm trying to commentate it. We'll see how that one does go, but also is a very big tool that both these teams can utilize.
for a flank here on the grub fight.
Yeah, Peanut doing the same thing as well. As you can see, Zeka moving on in. Bit of a sneeze there from Viper, but there's the flash in. Ona finds that supreme display of talent, and they take down Peanut immediately, but Mom gets angry, and it's a double kill for the Unara as a result. Gumayusi angry and looking for even more, as the headbutt does get Guma away. That is a decent amount of damage there as well from the W, but otherwise rotate over. Viper dealing with the wave for now, as Wind Becomes Lightning does connect onto Carrier. Slurkle does not, but that is going to be the Drake secured. And T1 going to get two of them. First Chemtech Soul of the weekend, I'm pretty sure, is going to grace us.
And T1 are just like, yeah, if you want to try to come over here and try to make something out of this bottom side, probably good luck with that. As even Peanut is struggling here to find Faker, gets the connection.
Yep, Owner is going to move on over though. Great knockup comes in. Peanut still in a bit of trouble though, as there is a brilliant ultimate from Zeka, and Mum even picks up a kill. Two freebies here for HLE, and they are on the board.
Long range, able to get the snipe there, grabs the kill, puts a dent in that gold deficit.
Yeah, exactly. Also getting some plate money here as well, as Gumayusi going aggressive. Flap from Viper trying to get out, does have to flash in the end. And with the quickness, it is just too hard for Delight to peel effective. We're going to have a look at this one from Zeka's perspective, hijacking this petrifying gaze.
Yeah, and then Peanut's ultimate here means that there's just nothing they could do to him. The ultimate is phenomenal from Zeka. He said, very good.
Yeah,
really just need a dragon, and then they're going to be feeling like, okay, well, at least we'll get our Smolder stacks online. 50-second opportunity on these waves, even going to go over to the Raptors now. But yeah. T1 are just going to take this Herald and crash it into the mid turret. They're like, well, if you're just going to give it up, we'll get more.
Yeah, Peanut opts in for the knock-up there as well, but is actually going to be okay, as the Rift Herald not quite able to take down the turret, but is getting very, very close. They're putting their trust into what this little dragon can do later in the game, but that is a little bit of a worry. I think Zeka, with a cask in hand, is looking to see what he can do here underneath this turret. Everyone's making their way over, though, as Ona gets in. Fair bit of damage down onto Delight, as the barrel is going to come on through for the disengage. Redemption gets the health back into the cattle. They should be okay.
We have talked so much about the growth of teams like B&K. D+ is kind of recent glow up as well, but KT Rolster dominating the conversation.
Zeka can lock down that first turret here towards the bottom side of the map. Feeds the strength. Going over to HLE.
I mean, they had threat in all three lanes for turret. Viper gets away with so much and get a bunch of value elsewhere and force T1 back. Maybe there's a world where they could slow it down.
And but Faker off to the side. Petrifying Gaze in hand. This ward getting them a lot of information, though, as the teleport to come through from the Gragas. Same thing to be said for the Jax, though, as they make their way down. I just don't know whether HLE can get here in time. As Peanut's going to flash forward, it is going to be secured by Ona, though. But look at the damage from Viper. Gumayusi also starting to pop up, but he's taking so much on the back end. And HLE still staying amongst it. Faker now fighting them by himself. And Zeka keeps himself alive, still flashes away from Carrier there. And T1, they take the Otacon, but they lose the fight.
And now Viper's going to have stacks for the Chemtech Soul. He actually will. Now this soul fight is not just an imagination. It's a real possibility. 225 for Viper as it spawns.
And he has flash. And Gumayusi is not so lucky. No summoner spells. 5 seconds until his ulti's up. And so he will have that for the extra damage. But Peanut looking for a fight before that even happens. Quickness, very, very close to being up. Supreme Display of Talent is going to be there. Petrifying Gaze as well. But this feeling like make or break. As Zeus off to the side, looking for a bit of an angle. Zeka as well, wanting that pincer maneuver. 227 stacks, as you mentioned. Well, Viper is in position as far as that passive is concerned.
Angle here for Zeka is pretty huge too.
Yep, Mom could get pretty angry as well as Zeus goes in. There's Mom down as well, so much AoE damage, but it's the Zinzao that goes down first. Petrifying Gaze is phenomenal, and T1 stand their ground. Viper is the last man standing, and can he actually get anything done is the question. The rapid fire cannon giving him a fair bit of power, but Ona, he has the smite, and it's stolen! He steals it and kills him! Oh my god, he flashes forward. Gumayusi down so incredibly low. Faker does finish him off, but Viper may have just saved the game.
Viper almost just 1v3'd Atlas. That actually have a little bit of health here on Guma. And the gold lead, bigger, but this Smolder is online, and that's just very difficult to quantify in terms of gold. It's really just about protecting that extra ability to survive any engages onto him, because he is...
See Ona trying to find some moments here. Teleport in from Zeus, though, as we've got another fight for another soul. And let's see how this one's going to go. Viper finding one there as Peanut goes in, looking for a bit of an angle. Delight in a lot of trouble. Has to use the ulti, but the cask doesn't do anything. Doran goes golden. Viper is relatively safe at this point, but you can see T1 still going for it, but both solo lanes are dead. The Unara is popped like a balloon, and Peanut just puts a spear into the back of Carrier, and it's only Ona left alive. HLE, I think they're poised to get a 3-0 against T1 here today. That was real cute from Ona. So it may not be an ace, but it's still probably going to be a Baron.
I mean, he does not have flash, and I do not think he's going to be looking for a steal as Zeus is trying to end this mid turret. He is coming over here. See if he can make something of this with no real...
They have vision.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Viper's just getting...
No! That was not even okay to laugh about this one.
That was extremely
wow. Goodbye. Well, like with the lead T1 had, they're supposed to have in this draft, and the massive lead that the Unara had, I thought surely this Smolder won't get online, but he's able to weather the storm, and now Hanwha Life looking for a 3-0.
Yep. Doran trying to get away here. He will be able to do so.
And it's technically an upset, right? Like most analysts predicted T1.
I mean, it's technically not an upset, right? Because HLE was second place. Yeah, they had the highest seeding in this game. So technically not an upset, but in actual fact, from what we've seen from the form of these two teams in recent memory, it's an upset.
I mean, it's analyst prediction upset, but at the end of the day, Hanwha Life showing up and 3-0ing, not one person thought that outcome was possible. Not one person thought it was even close to possible.
It's exactly the same as Road to MSI, but the other way around.
Exactly.
And that was not what I was... It wasn't on my bingo card. Not today, as the stolen cask is going to deliver to Doran. Not exactly the ideal target, as Mum comes down, doesn't get a whole lot of value, but I just don't know whether it matters. Faker off to the side, just getting pulverized by all of these HLE members, and yells into the abyss. Doesn't find a target with the ulti. And the rest of T1, not a whole lot of options. Oh, Zeka, at least, yeah. No, that was Peanut that died. Zeka goes down extraordinarily low, so does Zeus. But Viper, he is still at full health with a GA. And Zeka dives forward, avoids everything. Gumayushi gets charmed up and eviscerated. And HLE will march into the base, take down the Nexus, and they will be going further. Like, we don't have T1, we don't have Gen.G.